brain is hardwired.
Okay. I'm gonna keep it like this. Okay. I'm gonna wait for some people to join. Yeah. Girlfriend, I'm leaving. I'm seeing. Alright. I'm waiting for people to join. Or I could just start talking. Okay. Well, hey y'all, what's up? My name is Lexi Rain, and today we're going to be talking about Scorpio Dilemma. I mean, I started this series last Sunday after I had, a pretty rude awakening, and I kind of wanted to transmute and alchemize that into something of healing. So, I was thinking about talking about death and rebirth because that's the thing with being a Scorpio is death and rebirth. Death and rebirth is something that we deal with often. Every night we die, another part of us is reborn. So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to talk about today. So if you're new here, my name's Lexi Rain, and I'll talk about lots of esoteric knowledge, lots of occult knowledge because I like it. And I have 3 eighth house placements, so I'm just going to keep it going. So death and rebirth is the concept of an old part of yourself being shedded and a new part of yourself being reborn. So we embody that energy, especially if you have 8th house placements. So sometimes we can think about death a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes we can think about death a lot, like death of a family member, death of a old version of ourselves. Like when a part of myself dies, I actually grieve hard because a part of me has just died. It is equivalent to losing a loved one because I did love that version of myself. I really did love that version of myself, but that version is me. She's no longer here. I shedded her. She died. She's gone. And I just sometimes have to think and remember, like, damn, I used to love this version. I mean, I still love that version of myself, but it's the fact that, like, she's gone. And I can't get her back. Have you ever went on your spiritual journey and you went to a certain height and you realize you can't go back to your old self? That's a death. You have died, a part of you has died and has been reborn into this new version that you are today. So when I would go through that, I would cry so hard because I'm just like, I'm grieving a part of myself that I no longer have access to. So death and rebirth is something I feel like everybody should get familiar with. You'll know if you're about to go through a death and rebirth when you start feeling like parts you're just shedding. Like stuff just stops resonating with you. You feel like you're ascending, which is basically what it is at the end of the day. You're ascending, you're transcending, you're moving on, you're moving on to better heights and just a new way of being. So I'm gonna go back to my notes because I've really been writing stuff down like y'all. Another thing about Scorpios, we will go down to the subconscious mind, y'all. The subconscious mind is where everything is at. The subconscious mind will tell you everything you need to know about yourself. So if you're having a dilemma in your waking life, say for instance, for me personally, it was I couldn't keep a friend. I don't know why. I was like, what am I doing wrong? Then I realized I wasn't being a friend to myself. I realized the way I treated others was just a reflection of how I treated myself. And I was like, damn, Lexi, you cool? You cool? No, I wasn't. So I went down to my subconscious mind. I had to ask myself, okay, what part of me what am I holding on to? Is there something I'm holding on to, like from my past, that's playing out? And lo and behold, there was. There have been times where I've been just hurt by friends. And hi, Jace. Hey, Bookie Boo. Thank you for the like, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Hi, Daniel. Where was I at? Sorry. Basically, my subconscious mind was telling me that I was holding on to things from my childhood. And because I was still holding on to these things from my childhood, they were playing out in my adult years. And it was like my 13-year-old self. Like I had got a download and a vision of my 13-year-old self. And well, happy birthday, girl! It was a download from my 13-year-old self, who was really like in her emo phase. And I realized that emo phase was still being played out in my adult years. Like I'm 25 and I just closed the cycle that's been going on since I was 13 years old. 13 years old. I will sub. Appreciate you. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Adoration to you. So when I realized that this is what's been playing out in my mind, I had to ask myself, okay, what needs not being met? What's not being met inside of me? Am I missing something? And I realized I have bad abandonment and rejection wounds. And they're still being played out to this day. I'm still working through them, I should say. Like, I'm still working through these things. And I realized, okay, what part of yourself felt rejected? When's the first time I really felt rejected? And I had to ask myself, was it like, when you're in middle school or high school, was I rejected by a friend group? Yes, I actually was. Did you feel abandoned, outcasted? Yes. Yes, I did. But I realized, well, for one, you're neurodivergent. I'm extremely neurodivergent. And then also being on the spectrum, people look at you weird. People don't know how to treat people who are on the spectrum. And it's just like when you're around neurotypical people, sometimes that can be a little bit detrimental, a little bit alienating, because they're going to think that, hello. How are you? They're going to think that you're just crazy and weird. And like being the weird alternative black girl growing up, of course. Of course. Of course you're going to be perceived as weird. First of all, you're not fitting in any stereotypes. Like you have broken out the box of all the stereotypes of what black women are supposed to be. And now you want to be weird? You want to be neurodivergent? It's not I want to. I came out the womb like this. I have no choice. But the fact that shatters people's illusions made people even more like resistant to like receiving me. So I had to go through, what's your name? My name is Lexi Rain Beloved. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I had to realize, like, damn, it's only, well, I'm not gonna say it's only me, but I took on this lone wolf syndrome because I thought it was just only me. But that was only an illusion, because in truth, we're all one. We're all one. We're all connected as one. And once I started to embody the mindset of oneness, I'm like, I'm never alone for real. I'm never alone for real. If I'm one with everything in existence, every person, everybody, if I'm one, then why am I telling myself I'm alone? And I did that as out of like self-harm and self-punishment. I was punishing myself, which is also very detrimental, period. Like you should never, ever punish yourself, because deep down, I felt like I deserved to be punished because of my mistakes. And it's just like, why am I punishing myself? Is the divine punishing me? No, the divine just told me to do better. It showed me the way, and I'll do that. But the way my self-worth was set up, when something I'm still working through, y'all, is that self-worth, because I would tell myself like, no, I don't deserve this. I don't just all these like self-depreciating thoughts, because I was just so hell-bent on believing that since I made these mistakes, I don't deserve this. And I'm still working through that to this day. That's why I feel a little bit emotional, because I was like, damn, I've really been my biggest enemy. I've been sabotaging all this. Like, I don't like the fact that I've been sabotaging my own blessings. And that ends today. That ends today. Today, that shit ends today. Because why hold on to the past? The thing is, what the divine was trying to teach me was to see what the past was trying to teach me. Or how can I say this? What was that trigger trying to teach me? Is this something that was actually like happening to me, or was it happening for me? And I realized it was happening for me. So the fact that I was able to come to that understanding, it made me realize, okay, this is a learning experience. This is a learning curve. Now, what can I do with this information? So instead of going into a whole spiral, I just sat there and felt the emotions very strongly. I felt everything. I just felt it in my heart chakra, and I'm like, okay, okay, okay. So I do EFT tapping. See what's going on. EFT tapping. What's happening inside my body? Where am I feeling this emotion? And the moment I found where I was feeling the emotion, I started to breathe through it. I said, I'm going to feel you. My emotions matter. Everything matters. I validate myself. I validate my emotions. I validate everything I'm going through. So I just breathe through that. I breathe. I had to really sit there and like, what is this trying to teach me? Because every trigger was just an opportunity to love myself even deeper, which I'm so forever grateful for. I'm grateful to love myself unconditionally. You can't tell me shit. Yes, I'm healing, but girl, I still know I'm the shit. The fuck? Let me see. If a girl gives you a chance to leave and you're showing her you wanted to leave, would you? Huh? Hold on. If a girl gives you a chance to leave and you're showing her you want to leave, yes, I would leave because she didn't want you to begin with. Anyways. Self-forgiveness is a big thing I'm battling right now. It's forgiving myself for the mistakes I've done. Because the song by Kendrick Lamar, Count Me Out, that song has been, man, I just seen him perform it. I just saw Kendrick Lamar perform in St. Louis not too long ago. Let me tell y'all, when he started performing Count Me Out, I didn't think he was going to perform a song, but I just felt like I was about to cry all over again because I like to play that song on repeat because of how impactful it is. It makes, I love when you count me out. Y'all go listen to that song because it really applies to my situation. And it's like, if I didn't learn to forgive myself, love myself 100 times, like he's saying that we're always going to make mistakes. You're always going to make mistakes. It's how you handle yourself in that moment. What determines your character, basically. Your mistakes don't define you. How you handle your mistakes is what defines you. So I said, okay, I'm going to be compassionate. I'm going to be understanding. I'm going to be empathetic towards myself because I deserve that nurturing. I deserve to be gentle with myself. I deserve gentleness. I deserve to feel at ease within myself. I deserve to be my biggest best friend. I deserve to be my biggest supporter. The whole world could have their back turned towards me, but at least I still love me because I know that everything that I need is internally, not external. Everything I need is internal, not external. So I'm gonna read some of my notes, y'all. Look at this. All these just notes, okay? So I had to learn that not everything or everyone who angers me is an enemy. So everyone who triggers me is not an enemy. They're a teacher. See, I have to read the book, The Four Agreements. I have not read it yet, but I'm going to read it soon. But I heard that's one of the concepts in there is that like everybody's a teacher. And I had to really sit there and be like, I was really mad at the people, but the whole time it was just the spirit that was operating and that person was here to teach me something, not necessarily the person doing something to hurt me. See, the divine, once you're in alignment with the divine, you see that like the divine will send you all these tests and these people just to crack you up so that way you can't come back to your authentic self. Because at the end of the day, that is the goal of being on earth, is to come back to your authentic self. The goal is to come back to your authenticity because let's keep it a buck being 150. We're in America. Everybody wants to be, well, I'm not going to say everybody. We've been programmed. We've been programmed to be a slave. Let's clock it. Let's clock it. We've been programmed to be a slave, but that doesn't serve us because we're not that. We're not that. We don't have to succumb to these programs, these consciousness. We don't have to surrender to lack consciousness when we're abundant beings at heart. Let's break this down. Let's break this down. Okay? We are abundance at our core. Let me give you a diagram or an analogy. This is my favorite analogy. Okay, so the universe is infinite, right? Let's take it back to the Bible. There's a verse that says, "Ye are gods." Does that not mean you are gods? Okay, we are children of the Most High, right? So if you were a child of the Most High, wouldn't that mean you have the infinite energy that the Most High has? Would that mean that you're the Most High in the flesh, having a human experience? Would that mean that? Let's think about it. Stay with me. Stay with me. So, if I'm a child of the Most High, I wouldn't lack anything because I have everything. Because the Most High is infinite, right? The Most High is infinite. Hi, Kimberly. The Most High is infinite. So why would I ever perceive lack? But stay with me. Stay with me. The reason why we do is because we've been programmed to think like that. We've been programmed to chase things outside of ourselves that don't serve us. We've been programmed to really just not believe in ourselves. We've been programmed to be, like, literally the whole world is set up so that way you don't step into your power. And that's fucked up. That's the most fucked up shit ever. Because if you're not in your power, if you're not in control of your own power, then somebody else is. Now, you gonna stop? See, this is where, like, I think everybody's starting to wake up like, yo, we've been lied to. Duh, we know that. We know that America likes to feed off our energy. They like to do energy harvest, aka, like, big events that cause so much emotional upheaval. That's an energy harvest. That's literally all that. America likes to feed off energy. America is a narcissist. If you think about that stuff, like the whole literal definition of a narcissist, somebody that's feeding off of somebody that consistently has to go out and grab energy or like siphon energy from something, that's a narcissist. So we live in a narcissistic country, but you already knew that because I know you're just smart and you're aware. You're welcome, the best, Miss Kimberly. Preach, girl. Hey, Kelly. Yes, like I'm just think about it. Think about it, because when I first woke up, I mean, I kind of already been woken up since I was like 13 years old. Mind you, remember I was just talking about my 13-year-old self. Whew, I just made a connection. I was just talking about my 13-year-old self when I was in my emo phase. My emo phase was the version of myself that destroyed a lot of things. Us Scorpios, when we're in that unevolved state, we are destructive. We have to destroy, we have to be chaotic. And sometimes it fuels us. It fueled me for a long time. It was fun. Let me say act like it wasn't fun. It was. But it gets to a point. You're so cool. Oh, thank you. It gets to a point where you have to evolve out of that mindset because it's a bit childish. Well, at least for me now. I'm 25. I was like, I can't keep operating like this anymore. Like, see what's going on. But like, why are we doing this? But I realized a lot of needs weren't being met that I wasn't giving myself. I like validation. I like to feel approved. I like to feel on top. I like to feel this. I like to feel that. And I'm like, okay, Lexi, if you like to feel these things, you don't have to go out and bully people to give it to you. I'm calling myself out now because sometimes I do that. And it's just ego. Ego. It's all ego. So I'm like, okay, if I want validation so bad, let me get it for myself. Well, yeah, validation ain't good enough. My own validation for myself isn't good enough? What do you mean? I want to feel it from the world. You want to be seen. Yes. See how I debunked that? Deep down, I just want to be seen and heard. So I'm like, okay, Lexi, if you want to be seen and heard, I will see you and I will hear you right now in this moment. You have me. Great. Now I feel fulfilled. You see how I did that? That's how my brain works when it comes to healing. I'm like, okay, somebody cooked here. Somebody cooked here. So basically, whenever you're feeling like empty, or whenever you feel like you're finding yourself going out to grab energy or to feel empowered by having like that external validation, know it's your inner child that just wants to feel whole and just seen and heard. So that was my biggest thing was, yes, that is a fulfilling process. It's basically recovering the parts of yourself that feel unfulfilled. And we do this subconsciously because honestly, we've been taught to do this. I was talking about on my TikTok earlier. Make sure y'all follow me, Lexi Rain Official. I was talking about how my mom does this. Like she'll siphon energy, she would siphon energy from me just to feel better about herself. But it goes to show how people feel about themselves. So how you treat others is a reflection of you. So you can just see how I felt about myself. I felt low. But now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I don't have to feel low anymore. I have a choice to feel love about myself. I have a choice to feel fulfilled. I have a choice to feel whole about myself. This is solar plexus. This is one of the biggest chakras I have had problems with my whole entire life because it's been siphoned from me since I was a kid. I was just thinking about today, like, damn, sometimes I'm scared to stand in my power. Sometimes I'm scared to stand in my power. Why? Because every time I did, it was a fucking problem. And everybody had something to say about it. And I'm like, that's not fair to me to sit here and try to cower my power to please others. See how that cycle of codependency, like, kept perpetuating on? Now I'm like, okay, fuck that. If I had to suppress my power to be around somebody, they can get the fuck on. Dead ass. I'm not putting up with that shit anymore. So I was like literally writing about that today. And then I realized when I did stand in my power, I was an asshole. Like it's literally like a give and take, but I was just like taking. Manipulating. Why? Because a part of me did not feel fulfilled and felt like I had to make sure I had everything in my control to get what I want. And that's just I abuse my own power. So I was meditating. I was like, yo, I need to forgive myself. I can't abuse my own power anymore. I want to stand in my power. Sometimes I'm scared of my own power because I know how powerful I can get. And I know what comes with standing in my power. With great power comes responsibility. That shit is so true. With great power comes great responsibility. When you're standing in your power, you have to be willing to have people get mad at you. People project shit on you. People feel like they're entitled to you, but you have to set boundaries. And oh my goodness, that's the whole thing with it itself is setting boundaries. When you set boundaries with that person, now they're feeling like they feel some type of way because you set boundaries because whole time they benefited when you didn't have boundaries to begin with. My family. Everybody likes when you're giving till you're fucking depleted and angry and bitter and hateful towards everyone. But with the moment you start prioritizing your peace, and the moment you start prioritizing you, now it's a motherfucking problem. Why is it a problem when I put me first? Why is everybody trying to humble me? Why? Hey. Why is it a problem when everybody's trying to humble? Why is it a problem when I'm in my power? Sorry. Like, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. It makes you just look at things differently. And I have to ask myself, okay, if people cannot love and respect me, then that says a lot about their character. And that's growth that they have to do. I'm in their life to trigger them. Remember how I told you earlier how people come in your life to trigger you, to heal? It's a two-way street. Either you're healing somebody or you're getting triggered. It's literally life, okay? Like you can't, don't try to you can't avoid healing. You know, we're here to heal and grow and evolve as souls. Hold on. Let me see. Timo really upped their wig game. You know what? You filed for that, but I'm gonna keep scrolling. It says, yes, you're not responsible for anyone's healing. No, you're not. You're not responsible for anybody else's healing but your own. And I really just had to sit there and really accept that. That's nothing. Radical acceptance. I had to accept the good parts of myself, the bad parts of myself, and the ugly parts of myself. The stuff that people don't talk about. See me, I have 3 8th house placements, so I have no problem talking about my shadows. I will talk about it to the whole entire world. My shadows, because at the end of the day, they're still me. And suppressing your shadows is what keeps you stuck because you're not accepting the full range of who you are. And when you do that, that's when all those blockages pop up. That's when depression pops up, the anxiety, because you're not fully expressing. I don't say expressing. You're not fully acknowledging every part of your being. So when you're not acknowledging your soul, I had to pause on that. I just... When you're not acknowledging the parts of your soul that need to be acknowledged, that's when the shadow gets angry because it's going to feel unseen. It's going to feel unheard. That is your shadow. When we just, I like how everything's coming in full circle. I like that. So, yeah. The shadow wants to be seen. Indeed. The shadow does want to be seen. The shadow does want to be heard. And I'm in, if y'all don't know, I'm in Queen of Fluids, like Sacred Woman program. We just had a class today. This program been getting me right, okay? The gateway of my eye and segment were the most intense. Like, the gateway of my eye was teaching me how to forgive everyone that wronged me. This gateway that we're in now is the gateway of Ah. So it's talking about sacred feminine relationships, or like relationships with like male feminine dynamics. And that's the thing I realized I have not been like fulfilling in my life. Like, I will just talk about today, like how dating men is a humiliation ritual. And then all of a sudden we're talking about relationships. I said, ooh, talking about divine alignment. But at the same time, do I really want to date? Or am I scared to date? Because honestly, let's be for real. Let's really break it down right now. Dating men right now, like my ex embarrassed the fuck out of me. Like, I embarrassed the fuck out of myself, for being quite honest. Like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why? Why did I do that? Maybe because a part of me just wanted to be loved. A part of me just wanted to have attention. Like, a part of me was seeking attention, and it just got it from the first thing that gave attention. So I had to sit there and ask myself, damn, Lexi, just because somebody gives you attention don't mean you have to always accept it. You have to be discerning, like, is this person really for me? And get to know that person. Play, like, the long game is what I'm learning. Because patience, slow and steady wins the race. And I realized the reason why my relationships never really worked out, because I barely knew the person I was dating to begin with. We are clocking each other over here, okay? This is a healing channel. If you're judging, fuck you. Anyways. But I had to really sit there and be like, damn. I see where I went wrong. I rushed. And when you rush things like that, it can lead to all this grief, this unnecessary grief that I'm still processing and working through. Let me see. Amani, Rendra, we went to high school. Girl, what high school you go to? I went to 2. I love you, girl. Keep, yes, I sure will. I sure will. I'm just, so many things coming up. So many things coming up all at once, y'all. I'll just be like, damn. But I had to be gentle. I had to be compassionate with myself. I had to be understanding. I had to do my EFT tapping. I gotta go like this. I gotta do my tapping to recalibrate myself, because it's a learning experience. So if you guys ever had like those people you dated and you were like, what the fuck did I do that? Be gentle with yourself. It was a learning experience. You learned. What I had to ask myself, what did this person come to teach me? My last relationship, I would say this person came to teach me authenticity. Because as, like, you see how expressive I am right now? He was Aquarius, by the way. I wasn't like this before. But he told me, like, yo, don't care what people think, because at the end of the day, we all die. Why not live for you? What you want to do? So I'll be like, yeah, you're right. And been living like that ever since. But I just be like, I used to hold on to a lot of shame when it came to my relationships. And that's why I didn't date, because I was like, oh my God, in the back of my head, just, oh my goodness, what happens if y'all know how some men can get, okay, when you start dating them. The moment you start bragging about a nigga, they fail you. I don't want to say that as like affirmation. I'm just saying, like, that's what happened to me before. Like, damn. Whoops. I guess. So, how are y'all feeling? My TikTok live, how y'all doing? It's a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. What in the world? Girl, quit splashing at the couch. Sorry, my cat's just going haywire on the couch. Are y'all there? I need some comments, y'all. Where y'all at? How are y'all today? What's going on with you? Hello and greetings from Germany. Nice to meet you. Welcome to my screen. Well, hi. German. I was just watching a German video on TikTok. It was, I don't know what he was talking about. I could understand it, but it was making sense what he was saying. I believed. But hey, welcome. Arisha's baby, are you still alive? How are you? I have not seen you in a while. I have not seen you in a while. But yeah. There was something else I was going to talk about on here. That is so good. Let's talk kraut language then. Like sauerkraut? What? Teach me. Okay. All right. So y'all, if you're just joining the live, we are talking about death and rebirth as a Scorpio. My Scorpio dilemma is grudges. So that's what I've been working through these past couple of weeks, is like learning how to really feel my emotions but not hold on to them. Like I'll feel them. I'll feel them emotions intensely. I'll feel it all. And then I hold on to it. I'm like, okay, like so we can't do that. Because that's how sickness develops. And I'm like, I'm tired of being sick. I'm tired of being the author of my own destruction. So how can I let go of the past and heal myself and be completely healed and transcended? Because that's the goal of mine, is to really have spiritual healing. Because why hold on to the things that no longer serve me? And why project that out into the world when I could be projecting love? Like my whole big intention now is to live a life full of love. So Germans are called the Krauts in the US. Why? Who's still okay. Okay. Well, now I learned something new today, that the Germans are called Krauts in the US. That's interesting. It was something I was about to say. Sorry. Damn, y'all. I was talking about self-love. Like everything leads back to self-love. There's so many like different things I'm going through. And I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna be grateful in this present moment. I ain't gonna I'm not gonna hold on to shit no more. I'm like literally setting the intention, like, I'm not gonna hold on to the past anymore. Because it taught me everything I needed to know. I could let that part of me die. That's why I named this Death and Rebirth. Because us Scorpios, we can really, once we flip the switch, like, hey, it's time to go now. It's been real. I think we know about death all too well. Like, if you're a Scorpio, you probably have fears of death too. And sometimes I will have fears of it. Sometimes I even find myself like, oh my God, one day we're going to die and like we're going to be in the afterlife. What is it like doing that process? But I'm like, why am I having all these thoughts? I'm still alive. I'm still in the present moment. Life is still going on. Lexi, why are you having these thoughts? It's okay. Calm down. But I'll be like, damn. Okay. But it's like I posted on my TikTok a video of me feeling like my past self died. Like I felt her leave, and like I felt myself jump timelines, and it's just one of those things that's jarring, but it's like radically beautiful at the same time, because like, oh my goodness, a part of me just died and my new self is reborn. Let me read the comments. So as I'm a good profile. You're a real stubborn Sagittarius, but not believing in such. When it comes to that, I had to point you over to my friend who does astrology like that, because she'll tell you all about Sagittarius. But my biggest thing as a Scorpio is the fact that I have no problem ending a part of myself. Some people, no, this is who I am. Like some people will wear toxic traits as a personality image. That's not okay. That's not okay. I realized when I held on to past emotions, I got like the image of like, say for instance, like a shadow just being stuck in murky water. Because think about it, Scorpios were water signs, and we represent the depths of the ocean. So think about something being stuck in the ocean but can't move, or it's like trying to move, but it's just like maybe like idle, maybe. because something's holding it down or something's holding it back. You feel me? Something like that. So like that's the image I would get whenever I feel myself holding on to emotions from years ago. And I can imagine like all like the corrosion, the gook, the just stuff at the bottom of the ocean stuck to that version of me, or just stuck to that emotion, is not moving because it's not in the flow. So when you're holding on to emotions, you're not in the flow. And I realized, damn, how long have I been out of the flow? Like, oh goodness, like I'm just having all these realizations like, yo, Lexi, get back in the flow, get back in the present moment. What happened before is what happened before. What you have now is today, and that is all you have. You don't have the future. The future is now. The present is now. The past is a memory. Yes, it has emotions attached to it, but that's because you're still holding on. That's because we still just have to learn how to process our emotions. So it's been a big thing, like learning how to process my emotions, y'all. I It took me some time. Like, do y'all ever like find yourself like rethinking like situations or like past situations before, and you just find yourself in bed like, damn, why did I do that? So whenever you feel yourself doing that, that's an invitation for you to forgive yourself, to forgive yourself. An invitation to like really be gentle with yourself. Be gentle. Be compassionate, because your inner child deserves that. You do not deserve to beat yourself up out of you thinking you're punishing yourself. No. That gets you, I realize that gets you nowhere, because I used to do the same thing where I would just like punish myself because I feel like the whole world was like mad at me. But I realized that's tied to shame. That's tied to guilt. So self-forgiveness and self-compassion is key, because we're always going to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. And you just have to really accept that. It's radical acceptance as a human is like the key to peace. Like if you want to have peace in this life, you got to radically accept and love yourself. You have to radically accept and love yourself no matter what. Yes, stuff will happen. Stuff will happen. You just have to move through it. Move through all that. So yeah, y'all have any questions? Like, how are my followers, or yeah, how are my subs doing? Y'all cool? Are y'all great? I was working on a song last night. It's called Rebel Generosity. And it goes like this. Rebel generosity, don't you make a fool of me. Can't you see my heart yearns for the possibility? Rebel generosity, won't you put my mind at ease? I'm tired of the same pain, just wanna be free. And I wrote that as like me talking to my inner child, like, hey, 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 I'm tired of this. I wanna move on. I want to let go. I want to experience a new state of being. And I'm realizing like your nervous system is what like alters your vibrational state. So we can think consciously thoughts, but until our subconscious and our nervous system is in alignment with that, until then we'll see change. And I mean this, Nakia, I like the song. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Nakia. I make music. So I make music in regarding to healing and to regarding to deep shadow work healing, actually. And it's on my SoundCloud. The link should be in my bio. I think I put it on here. But check my bio for my songs. So it's like rebel generosity represents my inner child, like my inner teenager who's been rebellious, but she did it to be generous of us, aka me, so that way we could feel protected when we were met against adversity. But now that that part of me is dead or gone, which is death and rebirth, it's like we no longer have to, I'm telling my present self, like we no longer have to operate in these emotions. We no longer have to operate in this energy, because it got us to this point. But now it's like we don't have to be this way anymore. Yes, I love that. Yes, I greatly appreciate your love and support. So, rebel generosity, don't you make a fool of me. Can't you see my heart yearns for the possibility? Rebel generosity, won't you put my mind at ease? Tired of the same pain, just wanna be free. I just wanna be free. So it's coming together. It's coming together, y'all. I'm actually excited. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna read y'all some of my lyrics that I have for it, wherever I did with it. I have so many things going on in this book. Like, this is a book, a little backstory. This is my book from when I was 13 years old, and I found it, and I only used 13 pages of it, so I started writing in it again, and it's just been my inner child healing book. Honestly, I've been healing. So I let go what my past. That's not my key. Hold on, wait a minute. I let go what my past self held on to. I validate everything that you have been through, but I can't hold the hurt anymore. I'm leaning on you. So I was like, I'm an opera singer if y'all ain't know, but I added a little bit of opera. It's like a rock song, by the way. So it has like a punk rock sort of feel to it. So I let go what my past self had on to. Like, that's me affirming. I let go what my past self held on to. I validate everything that you have been through. But I can't hold the hurt anymore. I'm bleeding on you. Like, I really feel that in my heart. I'm tired of bleeding onto everybody I come into contact with. I'm tired, like, when I actually feel something like I deserve. Like, I'm tired of self-sabotage. That's been my biggest thing. This Rebel Generosity song is all about releasing self-sabotage. Like, I'm just tired of sabotaging myself and my blessings. Lexi, why are you doing this? This is not a form of self-love. This is a form of self-harm. And I had to ask myself, why am I doing this? But subconsciously, I just believed, key word is believed. I believe I didn't deserve good things because of my past. And I had to really sit there and nurture myself and forgive myself, love myself 100 times and 100 times after that. That's what I'm saying. Count Me Out by Kendrick Lamar is one of those songs. Mwah, chef's kiss. It's just, I felt really seen in that song. I felt understood. Like, Kendrick Lamar understands me. And mind you, I've listened to him since I was 13 years old as well. So 13 years old, that age has a lot of significance. Clearly. But it's really a matter of time, y'all. If you're on your spiritual journey, or if you're just on your healing journey, period, and you're doing that shadow work, that self-accountability, I want you to know right now to love yourself and to be gentle with you. You need to be gentle with yourself. You need to love on yourself. Every part that you think somebody would judge, you give so much more love to. You just give it love. You deserve love. Don't piss me off by thinking you don't deserve it, okay? Everyone deserves compassion. You gonna sit here and tell me that you don't deserve compassion? Don't piss me off. Don't do that. So, what else I got in here? I like coming on here and talking to y'all because I be like, damn, I know I don't go through all this stuff alone. I know I don't. But I just have to really realize, like, yo, it's time to share your story. Like, there are other people who go through the same thing who probably feel unseen, who probably just don't know what to do with this information. And I know for me personally, like, I've been on this healing journey for about 6 years. 6 years, y'all. Since 2019, I've been on this journey for 6 years. I've seen many, many deaths and many, many rebirths of myself. And I loved each and every version of myself, no matter how destructive, no matter how chaotic, because essentially if I'm in a hurting state and I'm hurting others, that means I need to go within to see what part of myself needs to be healed and nurtured, because it's a cry for help when people treat people weird. It's a cry for help when people are depressed. It's a cry for help when people just don't want to show up. It's a cry for help. And mental health is so important. Mental health is very important. And I always feel like if you're struggling with something, do your best to reach out to find some help. I don't know. There's free hotlines. You can go on live like how I'm going on live. You can find your community and start talking to them. There's ways you can find help. You can meditate. I'm always big on meditation and connecting with your higher self. And I know sometimes when you're in a low state, it could be hard to do that. However, show up. That's a form of self-love. You showing up every day, you doing something different. Do something different to change your energy versus what you do from your normal routine and schedule. So I like to clean my room. I like to clean my room a lot. I like to clean my house for a lot. I like to reset the energy. Like every Sunday, like it's Sunday today, I'm going to reset my house. I'm going to clean up. You see, I got the ambiance behind me. I like to just create an aesthetic because it stimulates me. I see, like I'm a visual person. Like I like seeing like aesthetically pleasing things to help alter my mood and to help alter my brain to feel at ease, to feel whole within myself. You feel me? Like if you do things every day to stimulate your senses, you're going to start coming back to your senses versus being in your head all the time. It also is a grounding technique. Like getting in tune with your feminine energy also is something that helps with those all that mental like going on. Like if you feel like you're in your head a lot, that means something's going on internally that you need to come back down to the present. It means you're scared of something. I'm always like, yo, if you find yourself being fearful of every little thing, I speak from experience, y'all, and I promise you, I'm speaking from experience. You can get over that. You can. I've been diagnosed with anxiety and all that shit. You see this right here? I'm not promoting anything, but this is valerian root. This is valerian root. Leah, hey friend, just wanted to wish y'all. Hey Leah girl, thank you. See, valerian root, this is for your nervous system. It's calming and relaxing. Like the other day, I was having a whole ass panic attack in my room. Thought I was gonna die and everything. And then I took some valerian root. I was like, okay, let me take some valerian root. Let me meditate. And I turned on Bernie Mac. Mind you, it's like 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, yo, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. Sometimes when I don't know how to ground myself, I'm doing everything I can to bring me back to the present. So I'm taking some valerian root. I'm meditating. I'm bringing myself down. I'm watching funny videos because I'm trying my best to change that frequency, because I experienced so many times nights terrors where I will wake up and just be like shaking or my heart's just pounding because my nervous system for some reason must have got triggered before I went to bed. I don't know what happened, but it's like it's a scary thing. And I think it started really in 2020. A lot of things started for me in 2020, and I can attest, like 2020 was a weird year, y'all. It was weird. A lot of stuff happened to us that we just don't really know how to explain. Like a lot of stuff happened to our health that we cannot explain for real. So I feel like a lot of things were being pumped out in the media, and that's when we were on TikTok the most, where we were just like absorbing everything without really putting like our own like hypothesis or like thought behind it. Like yes, we would see these things on social media. Like, mind you, 2020 was a very chaotic time. A lot of things were being put to us back to back, and we were in a whole pandemic. So it only makes sense if we're still feeling those effects to this day, because we're still trying to process all the stuff that happened all the way back then. And then, mind you, TikTok, you can doom scroll for hours, and that's also going into your nervous system. Like, you have to be mindful of what you're consuming, because we consume a lot, especially with social media. So that would explain like why my nervous system was the way it was. So I do everything in my power to regulate my nervous system, because that is my main priority, is to regulate my nervous system. Because once you regulate your nervous system out of survival mode, you go into abundance mode, which is your normal state. But America does not like that. America does not benefit when you're in your abundant state, because they need you as like a slave, a bot, and this 9-to-5 system that you can see clearly is dying out. Y'all know, don't act stupid. You know this 9-to-5 system is dying out and people are tired of fucking working. Yes, that is a reason, because everybody's waking up. 2020 was also a blessing in disguise because you can see how everybody was like, okay, I'm gonna start a business. We can't rely on these corporates, these corporations. Okay, I can rely on myself. That's what started everything. That's what kickstarted everything to like be what it is today. Everybody started working for themselves. Now, people who are still working 9 to 5s, I'm not shitting on your 9 to 5. I'm just saying you're starting to see like, hey, maybe I should work for myself. Maybe I should do things for myself. You know why? Because why am I giving my energy away to a corporation who doesn't even know me, who doesn't value me, who doesn't understand me? Like, I recently quit my other 9 to 5 job, and I was just like, I left because I didn't feel valued. I left because it just didn't feel in alignment, and I felt very outcasted. I didn't like how basically like me working this 9 to 5, it just kept taking me away from who I truly was after I'm doing all this work to get to my authenticity. Why go clock in when I'm done, when I don't even feel authentic for 8 hours? That eventually takes toll on your nervous system, and it makes you start like, it keeps you complacent. Like I kind of got visuals of the version of myself I would be if I stayed in the 9 to 5 system. I would be bitter. I would be just angry. I would just be the angry typical black woman because I'm not living up to my full potential while working in the system. So I had to take a leap of faith. The divine said, all right, now you tired of this? I'm tired of this for you too. We gonna go. So what the divine did, they kept sending me 10, 10, and 5, 5, 5. And so, man, when I tell you the winds of change started coming, I always felt like that. Like whenever I get the urge to leave a job, I'm like, okay, it's time to leave soon, y'all. It's been real. And eventually I did leave because every time I would go into this job, bro, the managers didn't like me. The customers were racist. It was just all around bad. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with this stuff. And I'm like, this probably has another toll on my nervous system because ever since I quit that, I don't have those night terrors anymore either. And I stopped like, consuming TikTok before bed. But it's just like, I feel like that was one of those things that contributed to me waking up with my heart beating out my chest. Why? Why am I going through that? I'm 25. What's going on? What? This is PTSD? Goodness gracious. What am I scared of? What happened? Why is my nervous system feeling like this? Y'all, I just had to really sit there and be like, okay, hold on, Lexi. We're going to calm down. We're going to calm down. We're going to calm down. We're going to do our EFT tap in. We're going to come back to this present moment where I'm safe, where I'm loved, where I'm embraced. I started entering spaces where I was embraced. And I just stopped entertaining places where I wasn't embraced, aka my past job. And I'm like, this don't serve me. You'll feel it. It's just something you can't ignore. Like you'll get that download, like, yo, I can't do this shit no more. You'll get tired of it. And then like, I'm always for entrepreneurship. That's why I'm on YouTube. That's why I'm on TikTok. That's why I'm on Patreon. Like, I'm all for entrepreneurship. Like, you have to work for yourself. If you're going to work for anything, work for yourself because at the end of the day, you're building your legacy. When you're working for somebody else, you're building their legacy. And I'm not, you as an entrepreneur, you're going to need employees, but at the end of the day, make sure them employees have their own businesses because I want everybody to be self-sufficient. Don't rely on me for your money. Of course, like you're helping me, I'm helping you. But at the end of the day, work for you. What is it that you like to do? What lights you up inside? Like I had to really ask myself, what lights me up inside? Music. I like music and I like helping people on their spiritual journey. It's my calling. I love it. I love what I do. That's why I'm on live right now because I love talking to y'all about these topics. So I'm like, okay. I love everything about me. I'm going to put me first. I'm going to do things I like. I'm going to follow the beat of my own drum. I'm going to do what lights me up inside because this life is not for anybody else but myself. And I'm going to do what I like. What is it that I like to do? I like taking on new hobbies. I was just writing down last night. I'm making it to Pilates. I'm making it to belly dancing. I'm already a yoga instructor, so I love doing that. But those are my new hobbies. Like just learn about yourself. Take some time out to really see what is it you like versus giving your energy away to the whole world. Of course, you will feel depleted and depressed if you're giving your energy away to the whole world. You're not fulfilling your inner child. How is that serving anybody if your cup is so empty and dry and barren? You need to fill up your own cup before the world just destroys you. Like I'm telling you, I've seen it so many times where people would when I was working at my other job, there was this girl she apologized for everything that she did. And I'm like, why are you apologizing for existing? And she kind of got mad that I asked her that. And I'm like, what the hell? The fact, why are you mad at me for trying to help you? Like, you don't have to apologize for your existence. You are here for a reason. You need to embrace that. If you don't embrace that, then what the fuck are you doing? I'm just saying. I'm saying. Because you need to love yourself unconditionally. Like, you deserve to be here. You have every right to be here. You know? I'm just saying, y'all. The 9 to 5 world is dead. It's been dying. If you're still working it, kudos to you, but I say have an exit plan. I don't care, y'all. Start Pinterest, like, you know, I was just on TikTok looking at the Pinterest, like how to like do affiliate links with TikTok and stuff like that. I'm about to look into that next. Or you can do if you're on TikTok, do the TikTok affiliate shop. Do some sort of content creation. I'm telling y'all, post your content. Post what means something to you. I like learning new things. So if you were like to teach me something, I'd be like, oh my gosh, yes, like the guy who was just commenting about sauerkraut from Germany. I didn't know people call German people kraut in the U.S. Like, I just learned something new, and I like that. I like that a lot. Hey, Chris. Right, facts. So yeah, eventually you just have to step outside of the box, and that's a lot of reason. That's the reason why America pumps so much fear, because they don't want people stepping outside the box, and that's why religion kind of pushes that dogma, like, oh, if you go outside of this, it's this. That subconsciously plays into like you stepping outside the 9 to 5 world and doing entrepreneurship, because you feel like, oh, it's going to be this, that, and the third before you even get before you even get yourself a chance to try, you know. So my model that I live by is feel the fear and do it anyway. Do it scared. Do it. Because at the end of the day, you did it. You tried it. And then once you do that, it's like a muscle. So once you keep like working that muscle, it gets stronger and stronger over time. Which is why I have no problem like doing new things or trying new foods or just going to new places. Because I'm like, why not? Why not? Do it before you're ready. Exactly. Do it before you're ready. Do not wait. Girl, let me tell y'all. I was like, oh my God, for content creation, I need to get a camera. I need to get a microphone. I need to get this, that, and the third. Imagine if I just waited instead of just doing what I'm doing right now, and I'm just talking to y'all on my phones. And I got like this little light right here. I'll show y'all. I just have this. And I just made it work. Like, don't wait to be perfect. Like, that's another thing I'm working on too, is releasing perfectionism. I have a Virgo rising, y'all. I'm working on it. It's working. I am releasing perfectionism because I'm realizing no one's perfect. There's no such thing as perfectionism if you think about it. So, yeah. Chris, how have you been? First of all, where have you been for one? Where the hell? What the hell, Leontay? What the hell, LeBron James? Where the hell you been at, man? But yeah, I always say, feel the fear, do it anyway, and just do it. Do it messy, do it scared, just do it. You still in Virginia? Get out. Get out. I'm scared of Virginia. I'm so glad I left. I can't stand it. That place is haunted. I'm serious. But yeah. I was in Alabama moving fridges on a box truck. How was that? Because a fridge, isn't that like a ton? You good? Trust me, I want to leave. You better start posting your content so you make some money so you can leave. I'm telling you, you better do something. Do something for yourself. $1,800 a week, but that's too much work. I can imagine if you're lifting a fridge. That's why I looked at you like, huh? You cool? You sure? Like, you good? Where you at right now? I'm back in Illinois. Let me see. So yeah, where was I at, y'all? Let me go back to my notes. I have my notes here. Like I was saying, this is my inner child notebook, and I've been talking about my inner child for a minute now. Because I'm in this program for Queen of Fluid. This program got hands. And I'm not meaning it in a bad way. I mean it as like, oh my goodness, I'm being faced with all my traumas, all my shadows, like, bah, 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 non-stop. And I'm grateful for it because I'm learning about myself. I love learning about me. That is how you should feel about when it comes to like shadow work. It's like something like, oh my God, I can do shadow work. I love how this is Triggering me. Yes, learn to love your triggers. Learn to love the shit that just gets you going. Literally. Hello, greetings from Mexico. Hi, greetings from America. Let's see. Alabama got them 20-step houses on mountains and stuff. Goodness gracious. You need to get paid $3,000 a week. That's a bit OD. I need shadow work for real. If I were to make a shadow work ebook, will y'all buy it? I know. It's my business, y'all. I have to ask. I just have to ask. If I were to make a shadow work ebook, would y'all get it? Do you like K-pop? No, put me onto some K-pop. I heard it's really good though. You would. Okay. All right. Because I'm literally working on an ebook right now called, well, you see how this is called Scorpio Dilemma? That's what my ebook is called. I'm literally working on that right now, where I'm talking about like how to overcome the dilemmas. Now, you don't even have to be a Scorpio. It's really just for anybody who's on their shadow work healing journey. And I talk about like how, sometimes you can feel alone on your healing journey. And it's an alienating feeling because you don't really know who to talk to about this type of stuff, especially if you're the black sheep of the family and you just feel like you're all alone doing it. And for the longest, I did feel like the black sheep, but I realized that's my purpose. Like, that was my purpose of reincarnating into my family, because essentially when I heal myself, I heal my family. So I had to really sit there and accept, like, okay, I know my soul tribe will come about eventually. And they actually have. I met many people who are spiritual and like tapped in, and I started to feel that sense of community that I was so ever longing for my family. And it's a blessing in disguise, because like not everybody's going to understand you, but all that matters is that you understand you. All that matters is you are your biggest fan. All that matters is you are doing things for you. So yeah, let me read some of the comments. Immediately, yes. Okay, I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna work on it tonight. I started on it, but I'll put some more effort into it. That's the divine right there. Work on a book. Shadow work. I'm writing this down because I care about y'all. This is what I'm here to do. Honey. Okay, girl, I love Sacred Woman. Those salt baths at 3 a.m. She lives and gave one strength. Girl, hold on. Let me tell you about that. Because literally, that's what we're supposed to do. Wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning, salt baths and rose oil. I'm telling you, it sets your whole tone for the whole entire day. I love it. And then doing some fire breathing afterwards. Let me see. He said, yep, that's my purpose too, in a way. So what have you been doing to actively like go into your purpose? What have you been doing, Chris? I'm on your ass now. Yes, girl. So we're on Gateway 8 in the book. So we're in the Gateway of Ost. And let me tell you about Ost. I don't know if y'all watched my previous videos on my TikTok, but I talk about this book right here. This book is called The First Prophetess of Mami Wata. Mami Wata has over 10,000 names. And guess what one of her names is? Ost, Osset, Isis, goddess of 10,000 names. So I like researching African matriarchal history, because this book talks about how like African matriarchal history was the original history before the Catholic Church came and stole everything, rebranded it into their own propaganda, then started slavery. This book talks about all that. So I'm actually about to start why does it say my live going in? Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Oh shit, wait. Sorry, y'all. It was saying my live was going to end or something. I love that book. I read it twice. A staple in my library. I'm about to start a Patreon, a book club, so we can read and dissect this book. Do you want to join? Follow me. I'll follow you back, girl. We got to talk about this. Absolutely nothing, which is probably why the universe brought your live up as soon as I opened TikTok. The universe is right on time. The universe is right on time. You better tap in. I was like, you better lay low. You better tap in. You better get on your Zoom. You better get on your Zoom. You better get on your fucking Zoom now, Chris. I'm not playing with you. There are people who need to hear your voice. I would love for you to tell me the story where you... Well, I don't want to put your business on blast, but do you remember that story you told me where you were having a blast, the time of your life? It was a story you told me. I'm not going to put your business out there, but you told me a story. I would love for you to tell me that story again because it was one of the funniest stories I've ever heard in my life. I promise you. Death will. I got you. I'm just saying that shit was funny. I was like, gee, what? Like, tell your story. Like, your whole story could heal somebody. That's why I get on here and tell my story. Like, Virginia has one of the most, like, I created a lot of stories there. A lot of things happened in Virginia that I'm like, gee, what the hell was that? What was this twilight zone I was living in? Because when I was living in Virginia, let me tell you something. That's when my spiritual awakening first started, and everything was just like amplified. And then keep in mind, Virginia is not a very high vibrational place. It's actually hell. I'm not even exaggerating. It's close to the Appalachian Mountains. If you know, you know. Look up the Appalachian Mountains if you don't know what I'm talking about. It's right there. So you don't, do you mind? It was do you mind if I say, okay, it's you told me where you took like, okay, you don't mind. It's when you told me you took 3 tabs of acid or something, and then you just had like a whole heyday, and like you were jumping off buildings or something. Like that story, I need to hear again. Please make a video about it. That shit was funny. Like, actually was hilarious. I'm like, gee, what? Like, it's some things I just can't forget about Virginia. You're one of them. I'm dead ass. I'm not even joking. I'd be like, what? Like, oh my goodness, but I'm gonna make a video and just keep making videos. Like, get in the habit of posting consistently and just keep going. Just keep going. Okay. All right, now back to this. This book made me cry. This book made me have past life revelations. Like, I remember having a past life. Yes, y'all, I'm that spiritually tapped in. I had past life revelations. I was a war general, and we all died in like this big flood. And then in here it talks about how there were war generals, female, mind you. Everybody that I'm talking about is a woman because we lived in the African matriarchal society before the Catholic Church did that shit. You heard it here first. So basically, we lived in a society where we were ruling everything, and like we had, I'm talking about all the military codes. We were the most powerful military group throughout the whole entire old world. Old world. Key word here is old, because there's old and then there's new world. I want y'all to keep that in mind, okay? So what killed the old world, or what destroyed it, was this big flood. Use your thinking caps. Where have you heard that before? Where have you heard about a big flood wiping out the entire earth and creating, or just like breaking up the continents? Think about it. Think about it quickly. Think about it. Yes, past lives are real. Yes, Noah. So this book talks about Noah's Ark, but it wasn't like that. What happened was, his name wasn't Noah. It was something else. I have to read the book again to find his name. And the 3 sons he took were 3 sibyls, because he needed 3 African matriarchal sibyls to prophesize, to tell him about the future, and basically tried to keep them so that way he can stay in the know of how to maneuver through the new world. And so my past life was, we not succumbing to patriarchy. We'd rather just die right here, because I was a war journal, and I will hold that war journal in this lifetime, where sometimes I feel like ready for war. Like, I'll be, what the fuck? Like, and maybe it's because I have Aries placements, but maybe this is the reason why I have Aries placements, because I know how to strategize, I know how to lead, I know how to do a lot of things, and that's why I do a lot of stuff now. But in the book, it talks about how we all sacrifice ourselves underwater. Yeah, so it talks about that in the book, how the sibyls and the African matriarchal war generals, they sacrifice themselves underwater. And I'm thinking to myself, why am I so called to this book in this lifetime? I have there's another volume of this book I'm still breaking down, because it's so deep, y'all. It's very deep. I'd be like, hold on. America, please. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, America. Hold on. Like, I'm just flip a page. Let me see. Let's see. Let me see. I want to read y'all something. Wait. I'm going to read y'all something. It says, the sibyls are descendants of the first Neolithic clans of African warrior queens, healers, prophetess, and priestess, who were on the first ship built by goddess to establish the new world after the Great Flood. Wait a minute, y'all. I didn't know I was going to flip to this page. We were just talking about the flood. It says patriarchal oral history only records there being men, namely Noah and his 3 racially different sons. However, this is mythical and political and not historical. These 3 sons were all African, and they were African women, high priestesses called Sibyls. My God! How the fuck did we do that? Y'all saw that, right? Oh my God, we were just talking about the Noah's Ark, and I flipped to the page, and it's right here. Wow. I'm telling you, this book is alive. I'm dead ass. Okay. I'm excited. Wait a minute. So, the Sibyls issued forth the instructions from the divine African mother, Mami, as God, on how to build the Argos, aka the Ark. Wow, what the fuck? Oh my goodness. The giving forth of the prophecy pertaining to the end of their world. Remember I just talking about the, oh, what the hell? What the hell, Leonte? What the hell, LeBron James? What the frick, man? Wow. Let me read y'all comments. Let's see. Pangea Moses. Yep, he has a different name here too. Death had a dream. I was a mercenary with a squad moving through room. Real violent dream, but it was real as hell. Yes. Synchronized. Yep. My dreams are not dreams. My dreams are literally me in past lives or me in different universes. I promise you. Because why the fuck I'll be feeling like, okay, sometimes I can get shot in a dream and I'll feel like burns in this like physical lifetime. I'm like, what the hell? You tell me that was a dream? No, the fuck it wasn't. That was me in a different timeline or feeling some sort of, I don't know. But I'm going to keep on reading. So oral tradition has it that when men revolted against the authority of Mami, they separated themselves from the divine African mother. Look at the world today. Look how the world treats black women. Now look at the chaos in the world. Imagine what happens when everybody treats black women with the respect and love that we deserve as a freaking human being. Think about it. What happens? Hey, Jordan girl. What happens when everybody starts to realize African divine truth? That's why I'm in this. That's why I'm in this book, okay? Because it's teaching me how to get back to the African Sibyl nature that we naturally were in. In this book, it talks about that. Let me see, y'all. It says, many black women are born not knowing that their suffering stems from their disconnection with their ancient rights and spiritual duty to continue the work of their ancient mothers. Until this history is restored and African women are accorded their rightful place in the world, there will probably never be any peace. I need y'all to sit with that. I need y'all to sit with that. Think about it. The most disrespected, humiliated woman in the world is the black woman. Why? Oh, I wonder why. Oh, I have the answers. Because we're the original and everybody wants to be in our space. They want our power. They want our glory. They want this and the third. But since they can't get that, that's why they forced. That's why they raped. That's why they grape. That's why they did all these things to try to get in touch with our womb, with our primitive primal essence. They did all these different things so that way they can feel empowered. But as you can see, that's got them nowhere. Why am I gonna say get them nowhere? It got them in some deeper shit. I'll tell you that. Because the whole world is hell bent on making black women seem like just like the lowest of like the quote unquote hierarchy, when there is no hierarchy, because we're all one at the end of the day. But because people's egos got ahead of them, everybody's ego started to feel like, oh no, black women y'all this, black women y'all that, we gotta make sure these people feel low. You see how the world treats black women? You gonna sit here and tell me I'm lying? The proof is literally in the pudding. How they treat us in like the media, how they portray us in the media and stuff like that. Like, it's just very, very obvious. Like, the people who are quote unquote in charge have stolen our history. They've stolen our history, rewrote it to fit their narrative. So this is how this book talks about how religion came into play and how they started to use religion as like a propaganda to control the mind. It literally talks about that, y'all. Like, It talks about the ancient serpent. It talks about the serpent that was in the Garden of Eden, which was Mami Wata. And see how they demonized her so that way people would fear tapping back into their power? You have to decolonize your mind. You have to decolonize everything you've been taught, because I promise you, man, I had to sit there and be like, yo, every time, each page, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it literally connects the dots as to how the Illuminati started. It connects the dot how slavery started. It connects the dots to everything. Like, I really had to sit there and ask myself, what the hell? I almost went on a hunt. I found out. So let me see. What y'all saying in here? The last thing they want is a black woman to fully realize and love who she is. And that's why I fully stand by this book right here. I work for this lady. She's actually a sweet lady. And she teaches me so much. So much. This book itself is teaching me so much about how to heal, not just ourselves, but others. Like, it's bringing me to a point of unconditional love just for everybody. Not just for myself, but for everybody. Because once we start emanating love instead of emanating bitterness, the world heals. You realize when a black woman heals, the world heals at a different level. Stay with me. Stay with me. It says, what's good seeing you? I'm going to get that shadow work journal, and we meet again as we do in every lifetime. See you, Chris. Have a good night, and you be safe in Virginia. Okay? You be easy out there. I'm serious. But yeah, let me go back to this book though, because I think what I'm gonna start doing, I'm gonna have the Patreon link in my bio. It's gonna be, I'm starting a book club. I'm starting a book club on this book right here. The link to this book is in my bio. We're gonna read about this book every week. We're gonna come back on Sundays and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about this book, okay? It says the great mother healers, diviners, and sages who literally gave birth to the gods and aligned their people to their own personal destiny, divinity, and to their ancestors. The Sibyls were descendants of the first prehistoric matrilineal order of so-called serpent-worshipping clans. Let's go deeper into this, actually, y'all. I'm gonna read about it, okay? So let's think about a serpent goddess. Like, we're going to get a little esoteric here. When y'all think of serpents, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when y'all think about serpents? Where my water at? What is the first thing that comes to your mind when y'all think about serpents? Off rip. We're going straight into the occult now. Because, man, this book's so deep. It says universally known as the Black Doves. The Sibyls refer to themselves as sisters of Isis. I'm literally studying Isis Gateway, and her other name is Isis as well. It said the doves symbolize the sacred soul or Holy Spirit. Mind you, it's not even page 1. This is still the preface of the book. The black doves symbolize the sacred soul or the Holy Spirit. My goodness. I've been deconstructing, so I'm just thinking about the divine feminine when I think about serpents. That's exactly what it is. Think about Lilith. I'm gonna make a connection. You know, something I realized, Lilith's animals are owls, cats, and snakes. And I'm like, what do all of these animals have in common? They like to hunt mice, rodents, prey. They also hiss. And their eyes do that thing. Their eyes all do that thing. You know that thing that I'm talking about. And like these are animals of the divine feminine. That's why you will always see someone who's very tapped in to have some cats. I have 2 cats. Them little kittens, well, they're not kittens, but nocturnal too. They are nocturnal. See? All the connections. So it says in here, let me go to it. I really love this book, y'all. It's just something I start crying. I was crying the first time I read this. Hey, Asaya. Let me see. It was talking about basically, like, look at the cover. I know, like, just the picture of the symbol, that looks like a mermaid tail or some sort of snake tail. I've seen pictures of like symbols that have that sort of snake, like Durga goddess, like image to them. So I've seen that before. I like studying this type of stuff, y'all, because it really makes sense. It really makes sense. Like it says in here that like what is being implied here is that these prophetic books of the symbols became the sole and undisputed precursor to the Western Christian Bible. So the symbols wrote the books of the Bible, and that's why the book of Proverbs or the book of Psalms hit like that, because a black woman wrote it, and it got rewritten because somebody wanted to fit their agenda. Like, it's just, and then it talks about the Great Flood again. Let me see. Where am I at? The Great Flood. Wait, what about it? It was these warrior queens. Remember I talking about the past life as a warrior? It was these warrior queens who fled into droves from Libya, Ethiopia, Uganda, Nubia, southern Syria, and Babylon into Asia Minor, Ionia, and ancient Mycenae to join their African and Dravidian sisters who had already established a new home for the African goddess after the Great Flood in the New World. Am I telling you about that? Yeah. In the New World during transatlantic slavery. It was the descendants of these women and male priests and devotees who jumped into the oceans rather than serve underwater under a wave of colonial invaders. Didn't I just tell you that we had sacrificed ourselves because we didn't want to stay? We didn't want to go to the New World. That's that past life. Oh, gosh. Oh, fuck. I'm getting chills again because that... Damn. I told the New World was just transatlantic slavery, and this book talks about it, breaks it down how Africa got decivilized, and then how basically the African patriarchs, the black men, they got their egos got big because guess who was in their ear? People trying to tell them why y'all got women running this got their egos pumped up. They started giving away all our info, all our wisdom, all our knowledge, and then that's how shit started to break down bit by bit, and that's how the Catholic Church got involved. That's how the slavery, man, this book is deep, but I like it. Let me see, what's something else I was going to read in here? It says, archaeological pottery shards date the black descendants of Libyan Garamantes and other African clans who had settled into ancient Babylon and elsewhere before the flood to have arrived in Manoa, which is also called Ionia. I never heard of that. I have to research this. Like, this book is just so deep, y'all. I love it. The Romans. Yes, the Romans. This is all the Romans. The Romans in the Catholic Church. Man, this book talks a lot about them and how basically the Romans and the Jews did not like us. They didn't even like each other, but they knew they had to take down us. The book talks about that. Let me see. It says the African goddesses heeding these divine pantheons. You got Isis, Asase, Inanna, Ashtoreth, Adagattis, Cybele, Demeter, Hathor, Black Diana, goddess of 10,000 names. I'm pretty sure you heard these names before. They were the major deities who were known by many names in the theology of Mamiwada tradition. They are descended from the original Logos, which is known in Kemet as Isis. Isis is a divine concept which embodies the Logos as divine wisdom. This is starting to hit because, I told y'all, that's the gateway that we're on for this, like, we're on gateway of Ost. Ost is Isis, and I think it's really, like, divinely aligned that she's reaching out to me with this book right now. Man, when I tell you this book is alive, both of these books is alive. Black women, sacred women in the making. Stop giving your power away. Learn who you are. The world clearly wants to suck you dry. You have to eventually ask yourself, why is the world treating me like this? What did we do to make everybody so mad? Like, I ask questions. I've been asking questions since I was a kid. I'm like, why does the world treat us like this? Oh, because you're black. No, black is a color. Why does the world treat me like this? Why? And then why did you act like they don't treat me like this? I need to know. So guess what? I found out. And I found out. I fucked around and I found out. I found out. Because I'm like, what the fuck is I'm sorry. I'm trying not to cuss, guys. What the freak is happening? Why is the world treating us like this? I need explanations. So guess what? I said, I'm going to go on a hunt. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to find out what the F is going on. And I did. I did. This book is deep as frick, man. And it's in my bio if you guys want to buy it. I'm not trying to sell, but I'm dead ass. Like, if you guys really want to read this together, because I really want to break this stuff down together. This stuff is deep. So, let me see. The Black Amazons were also the original megalith, Cyclopes, and Stonehenge builders. Black women built the Stonehenge. We built everything. We were riding chariots before the Greeks did everything. When I tell you the Greeks stole everything, word for word, brick by brick. Literally. I was like, you can see like my notes in here. Like I was taking notes as I was like reading it. And I put down African patriarchs stole and used our magic against us and gave it to the, you know, people. And then, y'all ever watched Lovecraft Country? Have y'all ever watched Lovecraft Country? That's a good show. That show will remind you of Sinners. Shows like that, like Sinners and Lovecraft Country. Love them shows. Love them shows. But there's a character in the show called Hippolyta. And in here, it has an Amazonian queen who was a military militia named Hippolyte. And in I'm a spoiler alert, in Lovecraft Country, there was a scene where Hippolyta was a war general, an all-woman military, and she was the war general. And her name was Hippolyta. In the book, it talks about an Amazonian queen, warrior goddess named Hippolyte. And I'm wondering, this is where he must have, or she, whoever wrote the storyline for the book and the movie, must have got this information from. So basically, it says the African patriarchs, having superior knowledge of their ritual magic, therefore knew how to fight against them successfully, them as the African warrior queens. In fact, many of the epic tales recounting the greatness of Black heroes such as Hercules, Theseus, and others was due to them being able to defeat the Amazonian queens by stealing their ritual girdle, talismans, thunder axes, etc., thereby defeating the source of their enormous military might, because they used against them. So it says, once conquered and destroyed, these men were hailed as heroes. Such was the case when Theseus killed the sacred Minotaur of the queen goddess, and when Hercules stole the sacred ancestral girdle of the Amazonian queen Hippolyte, weakening her and then slaughtering her entire army. So the story of Hercules is about a Black man who basically killed a warrior queen. Damn. Fuck. Okay, it says over time, the Amazons were eventually defeated worldwide and erased from the annals of world history or regulated. Oh, basically that's how the Greek mythology came about, because basically it was all African history, and then they just said, oh, this is Greek mythology. Oh my goodness. So the Black Amazons were the OG military gangsters. Everything. You can see it today. Like, if you look out in the world today, what's happening? People are always stealing from Black women. You see that. Oh my God, Emmanuel. Hi, Emmanuel. People are always stealing from Black women. That's something you always gonna see. Because it's been happening, not since the beginning of time, but since Africa got decivilized. So, hi, pretty. Please, you must tell me more about I will FaceTime you. We will talk about Kendrick Lamar Duckworth, because that was a time. But where was I at? Basically, it's just history repeating itself until Black women stop the cycle. We have to stop the cycle of having people take from us. And we're already doing that if you honestly see and think about it. Because Black women have been opting out ever since the election. Like, people be like, oh, no, since the world doesn't appreciate it, we're just going to pull our power back. Then all of a sudden, Target says they're about to go bankrupt because nobody's shopping there. Well, the Black dollar's not shopping there anymore. And they really underestimated us and said, no, we're going to roll back DEI and y'all ain't going to have this no more, this, that, and the third. And now look where it got them. The jokes write themselves. So, let me see. I'm going to keep going in the book. Who's on the live? What's happening? Okay. Let me see. My YouTube live, how y'all doing? Who's on here? They really underestimated us on Sinners' views. Man, I just went to go see Sinners again. Sinners is so good. It is. So I'm gonna read this. What I have highlighted here. It says, if African American Christian women knew the untold history behind many of the biblical locations of which they offered their glory, they would be horrified to learn that they were lending a glorious praise to locations where their ancient mothers were murdered and persecuted and their holy temples seized and converted into Christian churches, and where their African deities were demonized and their veneration and worship ultimately destroyed. Unraveling the mental shackles of Western religious brainwashing affected by colonialism and slavery is one of the few areas many in the diaspora ever dare challenge. Damn. Fuck. Yeah. Let me get on my Zoom about the Patreon, y'all. This book deep. Hi, Regina Jones. They're really underestimated. Yeah. Girl, when I tell y'all, the jokes write themselves. They really do. They really do. They really do. It says, we were the first to form a self-governing democracy. We created everything that America is using to this day. And I really want y'all to sit and ask yourself why we're being so heavily monitored, police, whatever. Because we literally created this world. It got stolen from us, word for word, bar for bar. And now we're seeing that play out. But now we're in a time where, okay, eventually you're gonna come to a point where you realize people are taking from you. You're gonna get tired. You're gonna get tired. Sometimes you're gonna get frustrated. So you have to call your power back. And when Black people call their power back, you can only imagine how powerful that is when the original people call their power back. Because it's like, okay, we're no longer playing the games of the American facade or the American illusion. Because I was just thinking the other day, like, why like stress myself out to just get more resources when having resources is a birthright, you know? Like, living a healthy lifestyle is a birthright. I could just leave the country. Just go home. Let's go visit somewhere else, start a business, and then just travel the world. Because why participate in America? Because if you think about it, America, if you participate in it, then you participate in the spell of it. But when you don't participate in the spell of it, then it just doesn't have an effect on you anymore. So I just realized, maybe that's what I should do. Because is it really that deep? Because I realized America's built on approval. And America's built on just wanting to be seen. Everybody's trying to flex. Everybody's trying to show something off. What if I don't care? What if I just want to live? You ever think like that? And then, boom, illusion shattered because you realize it's all just a facade. It's all just a way of, it's a programming. And once you break out of the programming, you just reprogram how you want to live life because you have that full authority. You have that full authority over your life. So it's just like, why play somebody else's game? You can play your own. Or you can create your own because you're a creator at the end of the day. Instead of playing something else that's been playing. Instead of playing the game that's been fed to you since birth because you thought you had to do it because everybody else was doing it. But just because everybody else is doing something doesn't mean you should be doing it. You should be doing whatever the freak you want to do. What is that lights you up? Once again, what is it that lights you up? What inspires you to live? What gives you hope and motivation instead of like slaving away? Like, instead of just playing in the system and just playing a part, why not? Because I really think about like what's that movie called They Clone Tyrone? I think about that movie a lot sometimes because they want you to play that game. That's why they had like music as like being like a hypnosis form. That's why they had what else? The food being like what it was, like you saw the Popeyes chicken or just like that chicken joint that was in the movie where like everybody started laughing because they were eating that crack dust on the chicken or something. Like, they want you to play a role. And once you step outside that world, what happened when he did? They either killed him or whatever. But it's just like they want you to play a role within the system so that way they can keep it going or like keep the illusion flowing, I guess. Hi, Jerome. But if you really think about it, it's that illusion shattering. Like, even playing into it as you elevate on your spiritual journey, it just feels draining because, like, why continue something that's already dead? See, now we're going back to the death and rebirth topic. America is dying, and the attachments we had to it are dead. They're dead, and a new America, a new world is being born. This is what this is what Sibyls and sages and mystics talked about for ages. Like, they knew this time was coming where America would, yeah, because America has fallen before. Olympus has fallen before. And they need people to slave and to work to keep the economy going, because that's what it was built upon. It was built upon my ancestors building it word for word, bar for bar. They built this whole entire country. And now that everybody's going towards entrepreneurship and working for themselves, you see how they want people to stay in that corporate 9-to-5 system. They need people to stay in that slave mentality versus liberating themselves. Because once people liberate themselves, the system falls, because no one's paying attention anymore. And you can only imagine how that can be a downfall effect for them. I personally don't care, because why build a system built on lies and unhumane labor at the end of the day? Because it is unhumane. It's unhumane. Hi, JC. Like, why build a system built on the labor of my ancestors and then get mad when people are waking up to that point where, like, no, we don't want to slave anymore. We don't want to do this, that, and the third. Why do this? This way doesn't work anymore. Y'all could do it. Y'all be easy though, but they need, you know how the corporations need, they need the money to flow. They need the stock market. They need this, that, and the third. Honestly, I'm taking an economics class right now so I can understand how this shit actually works. How does economics really work? Because I literally told my professor, she asked me, what do you expect to learn from this class? What do you expect from the professor? I expect the professor to know the truth about how this economy was built, period. And I said, she better know where this shit came from. Because I'm not playing. I'm not playing. I literally said, my ancestors built this country, and they built this country brick by brick, and that's how the economy was built. And she was saying, like, what are your thoughts on the economy and how can we fix it? I said, we. Oh, baby, that's tough. We. You mean y'all? The people who benefited from the Matrix? I don't even say the Matrix. Let me take that word back. The people who benefited from this system the most are the ones who are going to change it. Peace out. Me and my people, we where them fans at? We just have the time of my life, mind our African-American business, because we know y'all would have listened to us anyway. The frick? Y'all wouldn't listen to us anyway. So why try to sit here and tell you what to do and how to fix the system? Y'all benefited from it the most. Y'all have to come together, put your little strap, grab yourself by your bootstraps and figure it out. So that's why I just be like, y'all be easy though. I'm gonna mind my business. I'm gonna mind my peace. Fix first of no, uproot this mess. Girl, when I say I be minding my business, you know what I'm gonna do after I get off live? I might go soak my feet. I might go take a bath. No. I'm gonna take a bath at 4 a.m. because I like doing that. It really is. It's something about taking a bath at 4 a.m. that just, chef's kiss. So, yeah, and I'm gonna work on that shadow workbook. So yeah, y'all have any questions before I head out of here? Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, follow for my TikTok. Like, comment, subscribe for my YouTube. If you like this live, make sure y'all support your girl. You know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, Clee. Hold on, you guys want to see my cat? Hold on. Come here. Come here. Come here. Want to say hi to live? Come here. Yay! Sorry. This is my baby. This is my baby. Did you just wake up? I think she just woke up. Enjoyed this. Already followed. Yay! I'll follow you back, girl. And I'll go live every Sunday. Sometimes I go live every day on YouTube. I go live every day on TikTok, but on YouTube I go live once a day. So I go live on Sundays, 6 p.m. on YouTube. 6 p.m. on TikTok every day though, because you know me. Well, you don't know me, but you're gonna know me now. My goal is to get to 10,000 followers. I'm at 5,821, I think. So that's my goal. Hey, Candace girl. Hi, Abby Cox. Thank you. That's my calico. That's my calico kitty. But yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. I'm about to get off here. Abby, you missed it. It was a good little live, man. It was good. It was good, but I'm going to upload it so you can watch it again, okay? And yes, Miss Meow Purr. Every Sunday noted, yes. Yes, ma'am. I have a calico too. Oh, what's her name? My calico's her name is Cleo. Cleopatra. Run, Cleopatra. Hey, hey, hey. Run, Cleopatra. Run, Cleopatra. Hey, yeah. Sassy is the name. Oh, Sassy. Sassy McSassy. That's so cute. All right, TikTok. I love y'all. I'm going to end the live on this one. Boom, bow. All right. Now, I'm going to come back to Abby. Hi, Abby girl. Get all my undivided attention right now. But what was I going to say? I talk about African matriarchal history. If you ever want to come join, I have a Patreon link in my bio for the book club. And we're going to go live every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time to talk about this. If you know, you know. And if you have any questions, shoot me a DM. I think you can do that on here. I'm still learning YouTube. But y'all have a very, very beautiful night. I love y'all. Bye.